But I assure you, this is the most important presentation of the day. If not, for tomorrow as well. So today we're talking about Tron, the future for blockchain gaming. So before we kick off, anybody heard of a Tron? Nice. That's 80%. So that's made my speech a lot easier. So just to kick in, with the numbers, as always, right? Numbers to start. So take a wild guess what the number is about. Yeah, anybody? Just one guess. It's okay. Just save the time. One guess. All right, everybody just shy a little bit. It's still early in the morning. I get it. Need more coffee to get started. So that's the Tron's number of accounts on our mainnet compared to EOS. So it's close to 3 times, right? All right, next round, 2. What's that? It's 3.3 million. Again, a wild guess, that's our daily transactions. Almost 6 times that of Ethereum. So, any of you guys, if you're still making dApps over Ethereum or EOS, something interesting to happen, right? So here's a brief graph in terms of how the number grows. You see the number of accounts growing significantly and just keep on growing every day as the number of transactions keep on going to peak up around along this range. The only reason for us to grow so fast is, I think, this is a positioning, because Tron is dedicated to help dApps to adapt to the mass market. Because end of the day, for blockchain technology to go mass market, the key thing you need is a bigger use case. For us, we are the only blockchain that's dedicated to the consumer internet per se, and we're starting to do the gaming, social, as well as the entertainment. And this is a rough roadmap, just a recap. But the takeaway is that within 200 days, we've been growing super fast. This is another graph. If any of you guys hold any cryptocurrency, this is something interesting to see. Everybody know, December 16th last year is the lowest of everything, right? It's a bloodbath. And the green line is about USD price, about BTC. And again, here is green line is the USD price of a BTC. The yellow line represents the comparative BTC price, because BTC is supposed to be the most valuable coin in the whole cryptocurrency space. For ETH, it's going down as well, right? Again, for EOS, it is down. And for the next slide, you would expect for Tron, the BTC price is going up. That's not us, like Roy saying that Tron is doing this and that. It's just the market itself says what's the value for Tron. And I just arrived yesterday because we had a super successful summit in San Francisco. We're super lucky to have Kobe Brown on stage with us on our Nitron Summit. And we talked a lot about entrepreneurship, about the future of blockchain, technology swap. So super excited to have Kobe this year. Actually gave us a big problem. So what are we going to have for next year? So happy to accept any suggestions, and we'll work our way to it. We have 300 people across Beijing and San Francisco, one of the biggest team in the blockchain space, and growing. Now, quick recap. For any developers, if you're still on Ether and still on EOS, a quick comparison. Basically, we're way faster, cheaper, a lot of users, and a lot of access for potential users. And we're Solidity compatible. Basically means no-brainer port from Ether, whatever you're doing, to Tron. And we're growing super fast. And we do have a lot of dApps already, and if not all the top dApps already on the on Tron's ecosystem. And if you're not still on Tron, I strongly suggest grab me right after or pay me right after, because we do see a very strong wave of porting over onto Tron right now. One of the top games is on, for example, these days it's called Epic Dragon. It's on Tron, and it's published by Tron as well. I'll mention later. So another thing is interesting to talk about for our dApp developers. The key thing we care about is basically two things. One, how can we make money? Right? Is blockchain big enough to make money? And two, where can we get the traffic? I get it started for the first question first. So this is the data last night after I arrived. I pulled from DappRadar. Our good friend from DappRadar just gave a speech. It's their data. And what they say is across the top, like most used apps on Ethereum, I pulled a table here, 7-day volume accumulate. It's just like transaction volume. It's about 5 million USD, right? Developers makes a percentage of a 5 million USD. Again, this for EOS, top 10, about 73 million USD. Decent, but can it be better? And I think there's a good solution here, which is 240 million USD on Tron. 7 days across only the top 10. So I think the answer is pretty, thank you, Patrick. This is your data. I just said, your data, thank you. That's what I'm saying, like, can dApps make money? Hell yeah, here's the proof. And in terms of traffic, Tron just acquired BitTorrent summer last year, which gave us access to over 100 million users. And we own the client, we can integrate our wallet into that. Essentially, we're building our ecosystem around BitTorrent. It's called Project Alice. I would say arguably this is killer dApp, so to speak. And we're building a whole ecosystem around that, simply put. We're driving all the traffic from BitTorrent, 25 million daily active users, 100 million monthly active users to the tokenized project of BitTorrent called Project Alice, where we can build a marketplace on top of it, and we will be distributing for decentralized apps and content. And we will utilize, if everybody heard of the news, BTT is a BitTorrent token, which should be starting airdropping, I think, February 11th, if I'm not mistaken, which is the news last night, to every single TRX holders. So BTT is the token to be used across BitTorrent ecosystem. So it will be used as one of the leading tokens to be used around the overall ecosystem as well. You can see, like, we're driving all the traffic to the whole dApp ecosystem. That's how we help our dApps to succeed. Now, with the potential to help our developers make money, with the channel and distribution power to help developers get more users, we're launching TRON Arcade program. Like, this is in last November, we announced that we have 100 million fund for blockchain games. And we also started our publishing program, which we put into 3 different steps. Step 1, we activate through our social community across 8 million active social community users, and we post about the games or whatever dApps we're promoting. For example, like Blockchain Cuties and Tron Goo, and recently Epic Dragon. And step 2, we do a lot of brand engagement, for example, because Tron is an interesting brand, and Justin himself is super active into the space as well. He himself has over, I would say, across all his social accounts, over about 2 or 3 millions already. So we are working closely, and he's super addicted. He's a very big gamer himself as well. That's how we work with our partners and to help them to achieve a lot of good things. For example, he's been retweeting about the Blockchain Cutie pre-sale. He's been playing on the Tron Goo. If you notice that game, he's playing. And actually, I have a video, but given the size limitation, I won't be able to show it. Also, like for the dApps, whichever gets him interest, he would rather even print the blockchain cuties icon at the back of his own like business card, which he's given away across the TRON Summit. So you can see that's the extent for TRON would go to help our developer partners, to help them to grow their brand, get in marketing, and engage on our social side. And the third, apparently, I think it's a very interesting news we never announced ever before, but we have a bigger, deeper partnership, which is we'll start landing energy. For anybody into like TRON development or any POS development, you understand there's the energy mechanics there, right? You need to use energy to do the calculating power. And for our good partners or strategic partners, we'll start laying out the energies, as well as we will start helping our developers to do the user acquisition on top of existing like TRON, BitTorrent user base. And also, TRON has a DEX. We have a DEX on our network called TRX Market, if anybody's aware. And for any of our dApps token, whether it's TRC 10 or 20, we can help on the listing as well to bring the liquidity to your ecosystem. And we are even happy to go extra mile to bring third-party IPs to your games if your games work out really well. So that's how we would add a real value to our developer relationship. And we're happy to announce our upcoming title. This is our publishing title called Hyper Snake. Essentially, this is the game we believe will basically we'll be connecting between the gamers, as casual game as can be, to the blockchain. Essentially, it's a Slither plus blockchain. The gameplay is very simple, like you play the game, Slither, but collect TRX. And if you lose, if you hit someone, you die, 60% or whatever percentage of your token will be left on the table for people to grab. All right, so it's the actual game, it's the actual use case of a proper blockchain mechanics and mentality, but it's super accessible for everyone. And this, I would say, it'll be one of this game of 2019. All right, so I reckon we have a Q&A session.
Yep.
Awesome, cool. Thank you, guys.
Okay, have any questions for Roy? No questions about all the money he's giving away? Oh, could you say who you are? So,
I'm Rick Moore from Secret Police.
Rick Moore from Secret Police. Yeah.
You're from Ripple.
Don't start that. No.
So you mentioned it's doing $250 million across the top 10 this week, but that's transaction volume, right? So what's the real revenue that the developers are making?
That's a good question. So it really depends on developers' dApp design. Some dApps, they were to get about 1%. That's the minimum I would see. Like they collect from over transaction volumes. So 1% out of 240 million is a decent amount, like revenue or profit, without doing much UA, and for such a small size team right now. So it's meaningful. And arguably, that's the same percentage of revenue share you get across other chains as well. But the difference is TRON has more users.
Okay, sure.
So I know on EOS, a lot of the very profitable games, make a lot of the gambling games or casino games, have to chip in and pay a lot of servers to guarantee their gas fee to be a server's availability and the gas fee to be lower. How do you guys contribute to that?
Well, if you work closely with TRON, like I said here, I'm more than happy to do the energy landing, meaning I'm paying for the developers. however much that they needed.
Why is it lending then?
What?
It says lending.
Oh, the reason for it is it's called lending is because it's a publishing program. So in exchange, if we work out this deal, I mean, I'm lending all the energy to you. You don't need to worry about your server costs. You don't need to worry about anything. But in return, I'm getting a percentage of your revenue.
Okay, is there a ceiling to that? Because I know a friend of US had to pay cash down $1.5 million USD to that.
I think we're talking about the same friend, and I believe there's a work to be done. We can work out a deal on that.
Okay, case by case.
Correct.
Yep.
Hello, sir.
Can you say where you're from?
Yeah,
So we know.
94 Street, Game Tour in a car. So just
Welcome.
just asking, what are your thoughts in terms of non-fungible tokens? Where do you see TRON heading in relation to non-fungible tokens? I know there's blockchain securities which require that. Where do you see? Because obviously with Ethereum there's the ERC 771 standard. Is there anything real with regards to that?
Sir, what else? I cannot hear.
Talking about non-fungible tokens.
NFT. Oh, actually, we already launched our first NFT enabled game already. So simply put, I think it's Tron is the thing for Tron is very interesting, right? Tron is a very practical project. So everything we do, Tron essentially is a fusion between EOS and Ether. So we adopt all the dev kit from Ether. So whatever Ether has, TRC20 or whatever like dev tool they have, we have exactly the same. So that's to minimize the learning curve or the cost of porting over, but also for the consensus-wise, we're using DPoS, so make it cheaper, faster to use. So to your question, if anything like TRC or whatever ERC, whatever protocol, we will have exact same mirror. So provide all the support to the developers. That's the key drive. Cool. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
I'm from Block 1. Under EOS, you have TPS at 3,000, and that's inaccurate. I'm also wondering, how do you characterize the cost being very expensive versus Tron being free? I'm wondering how you define very expensive.
Well, for starter, how much does it cost for you to open, since you're from Block 1, how much does it cost you for you to start an account, for a user to create an account?
Around $1.
Right, for Tron is 0.
Okay. And transactions?
Transaction, we don't have any gas fee. And we have energy cost. And energy cost, like I said, you can either deposit the same like DPoS kind of mechanics. So you can either deposit enough TRX to get your energy up, or can work with us to figure out a deal.
So account creation cost is completely free on Tron.
Exactly.
Hence, you can effectively create millions of accounts quite easily.
Yes. That's why, like, for the user-wise, let me see. Go back to this thing here. That's how do you increase the users. For us, for Tron, we're increasing daily basis about 20 to 30K addresses. For EOS is about 1 to 2K basis per day.
Yeah, but if you have to pay to do it, that's one of the issues with bots creating accounts. So that grows commissions.
No, that's not the goal. The goal is, think about it. For the app developer, what do you want? You want users to come in to use your app.
And they're real people.
How do you know it's real people? Because they're transacting to that. And end of the day, what matters is, does our developer get more users? That's the key question here. For very simple comparison right here. Sorry, I have to jump through the slides. So, the number one game across all blockchain, according to DappRadar, is Tron's Epic Dragon, which has 24-hour user base, about 5.7K. EOS Knights, everybody heard of this game before, right? 5.5K. So, I say that tells a lot of story already. Oh, by the way, for the top 3, we have 2 slots. So
Yeah, but if it costs you nothing to create 30,000 bots, but you know, just play them.
what do you want? You're a developer. Do you want users? Do you want money?
Yeah, but I just want
As long as you can receive users, as long as you can receive money. That's the thing I think from our perspective, the key thing we can drive to the users, I think, are these two key value propositions. Right? And I'm not saying that, so the key thing, that's why we need to minimize the cost to create the users. Because you can find however you want to find the most high barrier to enter. It's not my goal. Coming from the game space for 12 years, I understand deeply how easy, how important it is to make to make it a like entry user entry point as low as possible. That's why we minimize the cost. That's why we creatively, by learning to see, okay, from other blockchain projects, we learn what's the best practice for our own blockchain should take. That's why we minimize the user cost to enter. Because for any developers, I don't think it makes sense to charge a developer to open an account. Even bank nowadays does not charge for you to open an account. Why a blockchain should? All right?
One quick question on the new game. So you can earn QRX, so you're giving away currency. So we are seeing such developments across the industry. You play games and you receive currency, which is a great way to motivate people. We see users coming in and being very receptive to that. Do you guess there's going to be pushback from regulators on that at some point?
No. No. There's for regulations. I mean, I think what you're referring to are a lot of gambling apps. Like to be more specific, right? So number one, we are not promoting gambling apps because for Tron, we believe we're a public chain. We believe anybody can host, right? The whole point of decentralized, anybody can host whatever on the blockchain. For regulation concerns, we're not promoting gambling apps from our positioning. So I would suggest for any developers who's into that space, I would strongly suggest figure out to work with a partner to get a proper license or work with a regulation to find either real money gambling license or crypto gambling license in the proper region and then do proper KYC.
What we see is that there's clearly a market for those games, and that market is not being exploited yet, but there is a huge portion of players out there that are not being served.
Totally. I totally agree on the business potential. My takeaway is two parts. Number one, the market is huge. It can be do way better. We can serve way better in terms of user base than only 5K DAU, that pool. That's for one. For two, I think it's only because these users are existing blockchain users and they understand the key DNA for the cryptocurrency, which is reinvest. That's why it's participating into all these so-called gambling apps. And for three, for any games, as early days as they are, they need to have some like a core use cases and mechanics to start with. And it's proven by the market that kind of mechanics works. I think I'm very confident for the next generation what's going to happen is people will look into, this is mechanics. They would take away from the key mechanics and polish it a bit on that and putting more narrative and context around that so that it feels more gaming than gambling.
Another quick question.
Very last one, Shirley.
What is your biggest market, China or Europe or US? And also, is that rate tracking the regions?
So we track regions. We track the traffic. We don't.
There's no way for you to track users because they're on blockchain.
What we can say is where our traffic comes from on the site.
Right.
We cannot connect that to data on the blockchain network.
Exactly. And to your question, so 30% of our users is coming from US, 20 coming from Europe, about 10 coming from Korea, less than 5% coming from China.